Okay, guys, this is a post about your favorite orange man. Okay, I don't know what this is yet, but this is a post by Frank Valencheria TV on YouTube, and it's called "You Will Own Nothing and Be Happy," which sounds fantastic. I love owning nothing and being basically a peon for global elites. I love it. So President Roosevelt said, "You're going to be in debt slavery to the bank for only 30 years." Okay. And Donald Trump is here, like, no, add another 50 years of debt slavery to the bank. And what I want to say before I start the video is that if you have a mortgage, you don't own your house. The bank owns your house if you have a mortgage. Okay. Same with anything else. If you're paying off a debt, if you buy something and you have it in debt, right? Like a car note, right? You don't own the car until you pay it off. It's not yours.
So, watching this post and what it entails 50-year mortgage. Honestly, that's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Already 30 years, it's a long time. And for a person, if you start early, obviously there are benefits. By the time you're 60, probably you can own your first house.
Bro, nobody's starting early, dude. Everybody's going to college, right? And that's like, how much is that? I don't know because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take ridiculous debt just to have my finger up my ass when I come out of college and being like, where are all the jobs?
If you start even earlier, maybe at 55. So it all depends. Sometimes people remortgage
Bro, imagine that 55 and you're like, phew, finally, dude, finally I actually own my house. And it only took me like more than half of my life to actually own something that is like a fundamental thing for a human being. That's crazy to me.
their house, so they manage later in life. There must be like some chart where you can see this. To the extent of buying a house also for the next generation, if it's the first time you buy one to create generational wealth for your family and children, then it makes sense to start a mortgage. And it makes sense also to start a mortgage if it is reasoned to 50 years. But
Guys, I don't know if it makes sense to buy a house anymore unless it's for like profit, okay? Unless you're going to rent it out because if you think about it, like you pay the mortgage, right? And you pay like how much more times, how many multiples over the base price do you pay right now if you want to buy a house? And then you also have to pay property taxes. And from what I can tell in America, I'm not in America, okay, but I pay attention and I know that the the taxes are getting ridiculous. Okay, it's getting ridiculous, and it may just be better to rent. Somebody that I watch on YouTube is a guy called Michael Bordenero, right? He used to be a real estate uh, agent, and he always says that renting is better right now. And I think a real estate agent's bound to know like what's better, honestly.
at the same time, in my opinion, this is just showcasing that there are like these type of solutions to a systemic problem seems like just a delaying of the obvious, which is always the same. It all goes back to paying taxes, paying more taxes, raising the taxes, expecting more taxes, and then mismanaging the taxes. So there is no way out of this if governments around the world don't start to behave with the same kind of discipline that they expect their citizens to behave in accordance with the law and following the rules of law and paying the taxes and so on and so forth.
Guys, yes or no? Are politicians going to be more disciplined in the future? Or is everything going to get worse from here? Because I don't know. I come from Ukraine and now I'm in the UK. And I used to think that Ukraine was corrupt, right? But now I'm in UK and there's no difference. There's no difference. They're both really corrupt. Honestly, I don't see a difference anymore because I've started to pay attention a little bit about the UK economy and the things they do, bro, with the tax money. The things they do with the tax money, it makes me it makes me mad. So I don't have any faith. Okay, I'm looking for unorthodox creative solutions to get out of this. I'm not looking to do the things that they want me to do. Okay, if they say they want me to do something, I'm gonna say, okay, cool. I'm gonna clock it, and I'm gonna look to what's the opposite of that, and I'm gonna try my best to do exactly the opposite of that, or just disregard what they're saying, or use that as a guide as to not doing that. Okay.
Seems like that the government is the only and very entity that it's not held accountable for always being mismanaging funds, tax money, and taxpayers' money, contributing to inflation, contributing to
Yeah.
public debt that seems
Yeah.
like never-ending loop. Seems like a
Yeah.
never-ending hole that you can never be able to fill. In the example of the
Yes.
American public debt that is so egregious, 37 trillion, probably 38 trillion by now, or maybe it's already at 39. I don't know. It's skyrocketing with interest so fast that feels like it's almost unavoidable for an economy of 27 trillion to basically default or something. So I don't know what they're going to do. And to me, it's just mind blowing that it seems the obvious place to go and try to fix things is where Elon Musk with Doge was trying to achieve by cutting the pork, cutting the overspending, trying to also show to the public that there is
Okay. I'm not gonna glaze any of these people, and I don't think that that whatever his name is, Mr. Elon, accomplished anything at all. In fact, I don't really have a modicum of respect for him, not even in the slightest. So, in fact, I don't respect any of these people apart from Frank, this guy. Okay, I respect him.
a lot of ghostly things happening. So much untransparencies, so much
Yeah.
fraud, so much unaccountability for payments and for spending that you don't even understand how is that possible. How is that possible that contractors charge the government and the military industrial complex charge the government like $5,000 for screws? I mean, nobody's looking into this. The level of the level of human flaws inherently in society that people that obtain power seem to be easily corrupted or anyway swayed and brought to behave in a corrupted manner, one way or another on a spectrum of corruption, from the least to the most. And with obviously personal biases of affiliation and whatnot, and nepotism and all that type of hierarchy at play.
You get the picture. It's not looking good. And I just wanted to record this video to say that I don't think Gen Z are gonna get to own things. And it's really sad because I sort of laughed at this idea of you will own nothing and be happy, right? But look, they're making it happen. The own nothing part, not the happy part, okay? Somebody may be happy. Maybe they're gonna legalize drugs. That would make me a little bit happy. Not gonna lie. But yeah, it's kind of yeah, that's the situation. Anyway, this video, if you want to watch it, there's the title, You Will Own Nothing and Be Happy by Frank Valchiria. And yeah, I'm out.